out.
Yeah, that's all we ask. It's just hanging out. Gents, how are you today? Besides the obvious, besides fully lederhosened up, how are you?
Yeah, I can't complain. Doing well.
Doing good. Yeah, doing well. No
Good.
complaints on this end either. I know we're a little geographically
Oh
separated.
yeah, I see we're all ready for this today.
Oh yeah, we'll
Kellen,
get
I
it.
think one upped us with the boot, but here's to you with the fine German. What do you want to call this? The Heffa? You guys pronounce it.
We're drinking the Weihenstephan.
Yeah, the Weissbier.
Oh damn, it's good too.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a bit.
Yeah, I checked out this distillery and they've been distilling, or but this brewing, they've been brewing since. You can tell I've got distilling on the brain day, right? But they've been brewing since 1000. They've been brewing since the year 1000.
That's a
Is
couple
it
of
all?
years.
That's crazy. But yeah, it's I mean, because well, the reason I got hold of you guys, because well, here's how it all started. Because I started wondering back in October about the German influence on Central Texas. I've heard it before. Some things I didn't really believe. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what it was before later. But because they had the Worst Fest down in New Braunfels. And everybody's full on German. I'm like, I get it. Okay, that's fun. It's a German festival. But I started looking into it. Germans had a big influence in Central Texas because they started populating the area in the 1830s. And I mean, not only started populating it, but they did a lot of things, important things, I think. Like for example, they introduced corn cultivation. That's kind of important.
That's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, use that for a lot.
But they introduced corn and what's that other one? Oh, wheat. Yeah, no big deal. Just corn and wheat. So they kind of brought that because at the time in the 1830s, I mean, Texas wasn't even a sovereign nation then. It was pretty wild, pretty wild probably. Comanches and still, dealing with the same things. I think the Germans kind of brought like they say they brought in a bit of order. And I
They're
don't
an
know.
industrious people.
So that's very fitting for the German culture to bring order.
Yeah, and well, because they settled in an area here called and by the way, I'm bringing you guys on because through your military experience in both the Air Force and the United States Marine Corps, you guys both, I believe, met in Germany. Did you not?
Sure did.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Dave and I were that was my first duty station in Darmstadt, Germany, and that's where I met him. And Dave at the time was in the Air Force. So
Yep. Yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, and probably a history we shouldn't share right away. We should probably talk about what we can share. But
feel legally obligated to share some of it, so it's all good.
but yeah, you guys spent years over there, right?
Just two for me, but Dave, you have more, right?
Yeah, I was out there for just shy of 6 years, and it was actually really cool. So after Kellen left, he still came back probably once a year, and yeah, we traveled all over the place and did a bunch of snowboarding, and definitely didn't drink our weight in beer every time he came out to visit. So yeah,
Well, it's probably a requirement, and probably like you should notify the nation when Kellen's coming over to amp up beer production a month or two before.
there.
Hey. No, it was definitely nice to have someone in the know over there and someone you go back and easily visit and go tool around.
I came over and
Whenever,
visit you and in Darmstadt.
yeah, oh yeah, and whenever you're still complaining about the walking tour of Frankfurt, so we'll always have that.
I I had a bum knee, and he made me walk 7 miles, but it was to find Hooters, so it's a give and take.
There.
This is
Oh, that was
before
on
Google
the
Maps.
Saxonhausen side of the river.
Yeah, it didn't start out that way. But yeah, but back to me. So I figured we could like give you guys, you could help me kind of correlate some of the things that they give the German settlers not credit for, but aligned with what they've done in the area. Because the number one, I bring up the fact of New Braunfels had the festival. There's a settlement because they came in through Galveston. And I was wondering, like, did they all come in through, the Eastern Seaboard and make their way down like a lot of our Scottish ancestors did? But no, the lot came up through Galveston Bay, and they
Oof.
settled what was known as yeah. Don't bring Charles Barkley into this one, but but they settled the German belt, and the German belt in central Texas. Kellen, you've been to Fredericksburg. I don't know if you've been to New Braunfels, but I actually settled a big chunk of San Antonio as well. And there's still an area in San Antonio known as the King William neighborhood. Beautiful, swanky houses. It's still a very ornate and fancy part of town, but the Germans settled part of San Antonio.
Yeah, that's a surprise about San Antonio. But yeah, through driving around with you in the hill country, I knew Fredericksburg, but then the more you
Yeah.
look, the more German name towns you find. Like, yeah, we've been through New Braunfels as well, 'cause that's, I believe, San Antonio, correct?
No, no, no,
Just a
you get
little
lost.
northeast of San Antonio.
Yeah,
Okay,
you get lost in Texas. You're still having trouble with north and east in Texas, but
it's a little flat for me. I can't get it. Yeah, it
oh,
is.
it's a lot flat.
It is on the way to San Antonio.
And
But
and the
anyway.
well, it can be. If you're coming down from Dallas, yeah. But but yeah, and also like towns like Comfort and Bernie. Bernie's beautiful. I love Comfort. I mean, the one lady that I dated, for an extended period of time was a horse girl in Comfort, and that town is heavily German influenced. It's beautiful downtown. You can still, everybody still respects the heritage, but it's great because they came in the German settlements actually. They settled in Stephen F. Austin's colony. I think you guys have heard of that name before.
Sure
Sounds
have.
familiar.
Yeah, just I don't know if a lot of people give not mad props, but props to the fact that uh, Stephen finished what his dad started, and his dad was Moses Austin. Just so so let's get that out there. I'll raise one to Moses right now, but he passed away, and he put it in his will, I believe, that he wished that his son would carry it on. And he's like, God dang it, Dad. He didn't say that, but he did, and he founded Austin, Texas. But it was that's when like a large of a flood of they call it German immigration came to the area, and it was facilitated by if you guys got the notes up, you want to pronounce that?
Where are we looking there?
It says
Oh,
1840s-50s.
the right shoots AK.
Your mic's cutting out a little bit, Kellen. You want to lean in?
Sorry, the time of the Verizon shoots at Deutsche.
That's the one. That's
Okay,
the one.
there you go.
Over 5,000 Germans arrived in Texas in just a few months. And that's what primarily led to New Braunfels and Fredericksburg. And it's I didn't put it in the notes, but I was doing some digging with my AI buddy. And today, Texas is still nearly 18% German descent, which is pretty cool.
You say 18%?
18.
Damn, that's pretty shockingly high.
It is shockingly hot. You might be surprised. Hispanic is near 40. Um, the Scotch, Kellen,
Shockingly.
Makes
The
sense.
Scotch, the
You know,
Scotch are near 2%, Kellen, by the way. Scott is ancestry.
Yeah. I was going to the towns that comfort was industry, and they you can relax, but you better get your ass to work.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm. Speaking
And
of
then,
German influence in New Braunfels, was Schlitterbahn like an early on thing, or is that?
oh, is that where that's
Oh,
at?
is that the amusement park?
Yeah, I'm just being
Wow,
funny.
no, you tell me. I forgot all about it.
I think it's a water
Well,
park. No, there's no way that it's old.
I remember watching
No,
this
no.
because they uphill slide with the jets uphill.
Kellen, I mean, we got to work on your mic. We could hardly hear any of that.
I'll get that.
Schlitterbahn. Oh, now it's owned by Six Flags.
I think you sound kind of depressed, eh?
I mean, it's like a lot of small mountains being sold out to larger corporations.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm disappointed, but as Kellen and I, we talk about his distilling, journey, I guess now, and every time you turn around, it's like, yeah, they're owned by Diageo. I'm like, God dang it! Like,
They do own a lot.
there you go. There's a microphone,
Yeah, I switched back to my
but
headphones. We'll see how those work.
it does good. It does good. But the German settlers, I mean, they did. Of course, well, because it's this time of year. Like, Cal might be a giveaway. I might be a giveaway with my pearl snap shirt. I don't know if I told you guys, but Wrangler ain't fooling anybody with red pearl snaps. I don't think there are red pearls, but this is like kind of very Christmassy. But uh, they the I was looking at some of the other history of because uh, the Germans introduced the Christmas tree. Now, Christmas is huge in Germany, right?
Pretty big,
It
yeah,
is.
pretty big deal.
They do love their Chris Kindle markets, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, another Christmas tradition, maybe you guys can tell me if this is true or not, that I heard, and it's got to be true because it was on YouTube. But on Christmas Eve, Germans will go into the woods and the nearby and just blast off guns.
I have never seen that, and I'm sort of doubtful because it seems wildly possible. But
Well, they showed dudes dressed up in lederhosen, not unlike yourself, and they walked into the woods on Christmas Eve, not quite at sunset, but the one because they had these special pistols. I don't know what they are. They're probably not modern because I don't think they can get them. But I'm sorry.
Fair.
yeah,
But but they said not only was it just to shoot off guns as part of tradition, but also to remind people in the town to get off their keisters and go to midnight mass.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's
I've
probably more of a Bavarian thing if I had to guess then, because they're
yeah,
far more religious down there and way more forests. But I'm a little bummed I never witnessed that.
Well, we can always recreate it sometime if you guys come to Texas. I got a feeling it won't be a hard time finding firearms.
Yeah, that's fair.
I, I've definitely been to Metz, and that does sound like I'm not gonna say the redneck portion of Germany, but they are the southern portion if you want to look at that analogous to the United States. Um, so yeah, I can see it.
Oh yeah,
But
now that you say it like that.
also, yeah, Christmas markets are a huge deal, and that's one of my favorite things about living over there. Just going to Christmas markets, you walk around, and people are selling homemade stuff. You buy a mug for mulled wine, aka Glühwein is what they call it, and basically the mug's three euros, and the refills like 50 euro or $1 or €1.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, like you were saying, walk around the hot glue vine, your hands get all sticky, and then picking up gifts and doing all that stuff, but all the snacks and even the hot chocolate with Bailey's. Like, there's no lack of I don't know, food or drink to be had. Like, it's awesome, and just the general atmosphere. Everyone's super friendly, and they're yeah, everyone's just out for a good time.
It looked like it. It looked like the markets were more like, they definitely I don't want to say kid oriented, but definitely support the families and I think it's less it seemed like less to buy stuff and more just like to look at, the cool crafts and things like that.
For sure, just kind of to vibe and hang out and do something with the family and look at some lights and decorations.
Yeah, it's definitely like they always have live music and everything too, and it's more about the community aspect than it is the like not I don't say marketing, the economic aspect, I guess. So they're not pushing things down your throat like, "Hey, come buy this." Like, it's not a good price for you, my friend, but it's yeah, it's
Just
very like, "Hey, cool, I'm a local artisan. Here's what I make. Come check it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Buy something great. If not, Merry Christmas, have fun, like enjoy the time with your family." And it's much more of a slower pace, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah. I really appreciate that, especially like I was gonna say at this stage of my life, but you're right, man, because like I see the opposite. Like any trip I take into Austin today, like today I went into, and you could see it weeks ago. And you should, you guys are familiar with HEB. Every once in a while, I'll drop in HEB. It's chill, but like for the last few weeks, it's been bombed with people just buying. You can tell they're like getting stoked for Christmas. They're getting, and like I went up this afternoon to mail one package at the post office, line a country mile long, and people are just like frenetic, and it's like 1:30 in the afternoon. It's like, you guys, calm down. It's you'll get Christmas in. It's okay.
yeah, I actually went to the grocery store and the post office around 1:30 p.m. today, and it was a little wild for me.
I've taken to the point where I've gotten used to it. I mean, because everywhere where I've lived. And I'll do, if I'm cooking anything or planning for Christmas, I'll start like, I don't know, maybe you guys do the same thing, like 3 weeks ahead of time. I'll go in and I'll get the stuff like, pasta or something that I don't have on hand it's not going to spoil. I'll break it up. I'll go, I'll get that. Then I'll come back a week later. I'll get like the dairy stuff that I know it's got a good date. And like the last time I stop in will be like a few days before, and I'll just get fresh produce. Just so I don't have to deal with the storm that is Christmas at the grocery store.
That's years of experience right there. You got a system, and I like it.
Heck
Smart.
It's,
yeah.
I'm telling you.
People could
But
learn from that.
oh, good. because I've already went through phase two the other day, and it's paying off. But yeah, I mean, go back to because the German stuff, of course you're going to correlate. They introduced Oktoberfest. They introduced beer gardens, and they spelled it like beer garden. But they also introduced, I'm not sure if I appreciate this, kindergarten.
What's not to love about that?
I well, there wasn't a lot serious to it, but I got a feeling if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't go to school till first grade.
True. Tim, as a dad of two young children, I will say I appreciate kindergarten. Like they're not there
Oh,
yet, but it'll
yeah,
be
okay.
yeah.
That's fair, I
Social
guess. I
distance
mean,
for them, and like I don't know, they're not. There's no like real academics going on, so
no.
it's nice.
All
Like
I remember, all I
you
remember
bring
about
them to
kindergarten is power naps.
yeah, fair. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's fine.
eating glue.
Yeah. As a parent, you
And
get the break. They
and
get energy out. They get to hang out and socialize and learn the
yeah, okay, maybe you
establish
sold me.
social hierarchy amongst themselves. And yeah,
I remember I established my dominance by taking my sleeping rug and putting it on my back like Superman. So don't mess around.
like it. So actually,
Hey, back to oh, sorry, go ahead.
no. I was saying funny. So, like the the rugs, like those little carpet squares we used to sleep on. Now they have cots. They have little cots that sit like a few inches off the
I
ground, and they
mean,
all sleep on those.
it's probably okay. Better for young bodies like
I'm sure.
than the floor.
Yeah. Here's a
The
piece
Yeah,
of
concrete.
yeah. And I'm literally shaking off the dirt from my brothers and sisters' shoes, and that was my sleeping rug. So just like whatever.
That's hilarious. Poverty. Hey, did you know Germans and Austrians created a lot of the modern Mexican beers?
What?
Some being Dos Equis and Modelo and Negro Modelo because they're based on Vienna style lagers.
Oh, it makes sense.
They were
All right.
brought in the late 1800s by the Germans and Austrians.
Well, I have no problem jumping the gun in my notes a little bit because I want to really talk about uh Schultz Beer Garden downtown Austin.
Let's
Obviously,
talk
right by
about
the
it.
name, huh?
Let's talk about it.
Yep.
But obviously, by the name, Schultz is a German immigrant. He named August Schultz, began the beer garden in Austin, which is now known as Schultz Garden, and opened in 1866. 1866. So it's not only an old place or an old beer garden, but it's the oldest continuously operating business in Texas. In all of Texas, it's the beer garden in downtown.
Pretty good.
Kind of tracks. I guess when you get there, if hot, it's the first thing you need to do. One distribution of cold beer.
Yeah, and it gets better. I mean, there's more. There's more. Well,
Wait,
first of all, I mean, Kellen, if you can see the notes, because I don't want to butcher it because, because you go down, there's the notes above German settlers in Texas about the Shiner Brewery, but in 1908, a German society, a singing society called the Austin Sang, it's spelled Saengerunde,
I'm gonna
Sangerunde.
do a little control F here because these notes are a little deep. Let me
So
see.
in 1908, a German singing society purchased Schultz Beer Garden, and they built a bowling alley nearby. But they still own it today, and they own and operate Schultz Garden.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's like a word that means like round singers, sangarunda. If
singing
I don't know,
circle?
but yeah, sort of that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Once again, this is like first best, second best, and third best German. And it's like I don't speak German, and it's like exactly. We're not we're giving it our best shot.
Yeah, I mean, it was a favorite meeting. I mean, obviously, it was a cultural hub for the German settlers in the area and the broader community. I mean, obviously, the broader community is like in Austin, like I just did. I was like, I had never had this oldest brewery in Germany's Hefeweizen, but because I've had Live Oak from out by the airport, and I think you've had it too, and that's a damn good
Mhm.
Hefeweizen, but this is better. But you bring in what 1,200 years of experience, you're going to learn a few things. But
Yeah.
but German settlers also started the Shiner Brewery, which is less than 2 hours southeast of where I'm sitting right now. But along with Czech immigrants, they founded Shiner, and Shiner In 1909. See, I bring up these names because, I mean, you guys, in Germany, these dates mean, and as far as, and in Callan, like when we toured Scotland as well, you went to you made a point of we had to see the cemetery, and you go into the cemetery because it's really super cool, first of all. But you've got people like in the 1500s, they were building libraries. We weren't even a nation like for another couple hundred years, and they had already built libraries and stuff. But so when I say like in 1909 they started Shiner, it's probably not that impressive, right?
No,
I
they
mean,
kind of had in a wheelhouse at that point, probably. It's like, yeah, I can win pretty quick. Like we'd be doing this for a while.
stateside it makes sense though. Starting in 1909, that's especially like that far west. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
It was very much the Wild West briefly before that, so makes
Mm.
sense.
Yeah. The Western expansion closed in 1870 with the building of the railroad. So 40 years later, 39 years later, we've got a brewery, which I think is cool. But there's also that tie-in calendar that I just learned a little while ago. Uh, you know, co- and when it started, it had a hard time. In 1909, it wasn't a success. But then our guy Cosmos Spetzel took over, which is a cool name.
And a
Yeah, that
really
is a cool name. Nailed
And
it.
Dave, if you have another kid, Cosmos would be a cool name.
Cosmos Kramer, Cosmos
Yeah.
Spetzel.
That's Cosmo, damn it. I knew you would go there.
Close enough. Singular, plural.
Cosmos. Plural
But he took it
cosmos.
he took it over in 1914, like 5 years later, and kind of rescued it and came synonymous with success. So they established a brewery in 1909. He took over in 1914, and ever since then, of course he didn't. It was called the Home Brewery, but he continued to sell the Shiner beer, and it still continues to operate in Shiner, Texas today. And Callan, here's where the Callan, Texas, or the Callan tie-in comes in. Uh, they started
Give it to me.
distilling. Shiner has started
Get
distilling,
out the lights on. Are you serious?
and they actually released their first bottle of bourbon. And can anybody guess when it might have been?
I actually have no frame of reference for it. I mean, post
Last
1914, I
month.
would say. Oh,
Last
Oh,
month.
really? Yeah. Heard that recent.
They've only been, I think, distilling since 2022. They make gin and I believe vodka and corn whiskey, but they are aging their own bourbon right now, Kellen. So
yeah, that tracks. That's kind of what a lot of distilleries do to keep the lights on at first while you're aging. Whiskey, you do vodka or gin, just to make some cash while you're waiting for that bourbon to finish. But it's also impressive that Cosmos like started turning a profit in 1915 and maintained success after a pretty couple
it's
of huge terrible war.
but it is impressive, like because you and I toured a lot of the distilling areas in Kentucky, and it's I think kind of like along the same during the Prohibition time frame to still stay in business and still turn a profit. And I've got history of the bootlegging in Austin, specifically in Austin. So they stayed but I'm sure I don't know if the distillers, the brewers, to stay viable through those periods. It's a well, I think it's also a tribute to the German, like you guys said, they're very resolute people. They're hardworking. And pardon my French, sons of bitches.
Can
Yeah,
confirm.
yeah.
Did you guys see? Now, when you were in Germany, you guys, I mean, because especially, Dave, you lived there for a long time. Kellen, you were there for quite a while as well. Um, what's your impression of, like, generally, like, I just made a statement about the German people without even know. I'm just not going from my notes, but what did you think of the German people?
I mean, in
Industri
general,
industrious?
ooh, industrious is good. Yeah, definitely industrious, hardworking, like you said. Yeah, very orderly. Like definitely rule followers. That's one of the biggest takeaways I got from living there. It's I don't remember the saying for it in German. Kellen might, but if you're standing at a crosswalk waiting to cross and there's no cars coming and you go, you will get yelled at
Yeah,
if
the road gonger,
the
tough gonger.
pedestrian is not green. Yeah, so it's but think
Huh.
of the children or the children are watching. What's the
Oh, mine's just like red gonger, like road gonger, toad gonger.
mm, Yeah, but there's I don't know. I've been yelled at before for jaywalking essentially when there's no cars around because the light had not turned green to walk across. So
Huh.
that's just a small example, but they carry that on like through every facet of their life. So it's not just in like public rules. They're very much just very detail oriented, very strict and like routine. This
Yeah.
just yeah, discipline I guess is a good way to put it. But
I think that kind of, that kind of, I think what you're implying is that kind of regimentation. I think if it's the mentality that they brought to, and like we said before, imagine, you know, Texas, the frontier in the 1830s, just bananas, just before even before the Colt revolver, before Teddy Roosevelt, before the Texas Rangers, it was just, and these settlers came in at that time, and not to mention, you guys, I'm sure you're probably thinking at the same time, the damn Civil War, shortly afterwards. So, a lot of upheaval and a lot of, but the Germans, like I said, they brought in some, the regimentation, they brought in some stability, they established, like we said, that area in San Antonio in 1800, in the early 1800s. So we're still having, scruffs. We're still dealing with as we're still settling Texas as and still dealing with Santa Ana and the boys in the 1830s. And these guys are already established in San Antonio. I'm sure they saw some of it too. I'm sure some of them were volunteering as well. But to bring like we say, cultivation of corn, cultivation of wheat. It's like, we're going to need this. So one thing, this is one I told you guys earlier that I was surprised to hear about, but I knew it kind of, but I didn't know how the influence was. But the Germans brought indirect smoking to Central Texas. Now you tell me something that's bigger in Central Texas than offset barbecue right now.
Diner Bach? I have no idea.
yeah,
Nothing. I mean, you could say guns, but
yeah,
indirect heat smoking is the foundation. Because I know there's three different styles, and I've always been glad that I landed in Austin and Central Texas, and where offset smoking is king. But I didn't realize it was introduced by the Germans. Did you see them doing that kind of thing and a lot of any grilling or anything in Germany?
Grilling, yes. Offset heat like that? No.
no, it makes sense for all the like smoked meats and everything too, but never.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah,
sure they brought sausage and smoked meat preservation too. This
Yeah.
tradition.
but yeah, we were living like I said earlier, like we were living further north, so in like far more I don't say developed, but like cities. So instead of more rural areas, like some more spots down in Bavaria, so it's
Well, I
very
think we,
likely that it's more prominent down there.
we can thank them. I have no problem thanking them for the tradition of smoked meats. Obviously they did it for as an early form of preservation, but that led to butcher shops and grew into barbecue. And pardon me for belching my Hefeweiss.
It's tough not to. It's a lot of beer.
It's a damn good beer too. Well, hey, nice boot. Is that your Das boot? Ha ha! See what I did there?
That's Das ist das Boot. Yeah.
But it's well, because you guys, we tried to get into Salt Lick barbecue the one day, and our naive, anyway, we went there at 8 p.m. They're like, yeah, it's got about an hour and a half wait, and they close at 10. We're like, what? That doesn't seem like it's going to work. But uh, Salt Lick is huge. They're known for their offset smoking because they'll. It's just a matter of which they'll cook the meat is placed in a cooking chamber where the heat and smoke circulate around it from a separate fire pit, and that's really what the whole premise of offset smoking. And I mean, even though I'm because I don't want to burn down my deck. I've been using a pellet grill for a long time, and I think a pellet grill will get you about 90% there. I can't wait to own a home like somewhere where I can get my own live oak out of the woods and use my own offset smoker. But I'm a big fan, and I'll thank him right now.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, for sure. There's a popular smoked beer from a town north of Frankfurt called Exxon Kerala. It's like smoky ham water.
Oh,
But
well, really? Well, you had me until that.
Yeah,
it's
they're.
pretty good.
I can have one. and it's got to be real cold to numb the taste buds a little bit. But yeah, they're not. It's an acquired taste, I think.
I mean, they're making sausages left, right, and center, but yeah, the smoking thing's pretty interesting. But it makes sense from like a meat preservation, just food preservation standpoint.
Yeah, I think the big deal was they were known for. I just picture like a shovel and a wheelbarrow, but they would have fire pits going away from the central grill where all the meats were. And when the meat started dropping in temperature, they have somebody bring over some hot coals and just keep the stove going, keep the fire going. But they also introduced the use of live oak, probably because it was prevalent, but because mesquite's definitely prevalent, but. Um, I don't know about you guys if you can like for me the difference with live oak is it's almost like a vanilla flavor, because it's a very mild and it doesn't overpower. Let the meat be the star, right? It's salt and pepper and a little bit of that oak. Oh my God, that sounds good right now, don't it?
Yeah, and yeah, it's cool. Different varieties of oak in the U.S. bring different flavors. You see that with whiskey maturation in barrels too. And
Yeah, I mean, and then this Christmas time of year, like several core Christmas traditions that it's about time we touched on Christmas because we're ready for it. I've got my red shirt on, you've got your hat on, you both are rocking the lederhosen. I mentioned the Christmas tree, Kellen, you shook your head. Uh, I think the Germans brought over the Santa and Saint Nick customs. Um, what about holiday pastries like Stollen? You guys familiar with that?
That's yeah, like a fruit bread essentially.
And strudel,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
And
fruit cake. Yeah, isn't Strollen's just more like a loaf of bread with a bunch of fruit baked into it, I think.
what is Lebkuchen?
Lebkuchen?
Okay, what is that?
Uh, cookies?
that one's more like gingerbreadish, I want to say.
But you got these towns like with strong, German roots, like we mentioned, Bernie, Comfort, Fredericksburg, New Braunfels. But you can see the difference in the German influences in the decorations. They do the markets. You'll see it's not uncommon to hear, polkas or that type of thing being played like as part of part of the Christmas music. You got Wurstfest, of course, which is fantastic. Um, But overall, I mean, I think Texas Christmas carries a surprising amount to me anyway, of like I don't want to say German DNA, but German influence because it was adapted to warm weather because obviously in Christmas time in Germany, not a lot of warm weather going on, and the scale of Texas, uh, but I think the like the open door policy and the welcoming of Texas, I think is very welcoming. In my probably just embraced the German culture and just made it part of Texas, Central Texas anyway.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Uh, cool to see, them transitioning to a warmer climate like that and bringing some of the customs out there. I was on the Christmas tree thing. That was news to me, but it's pretty.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, with everything else, St. Nicholas and a lot of the other customs and traditions. Yeah, the
Yeah,
old
I mean,
live oak Christmas tree.
I think we only owe the I don't want to say, well, yeah, a debt of gratitude because these guys were builders, they were teachers, they were brewers, they were farmers, and they brought like Dave you mentioned they brought discipline and a sense of order and craftsmanship and they it's like these notes say, and I didn't write this one, but you don't need to dig deep to find Germany and Texas. You just need to pay attention, and really that's all it is.
Here, here, I agree. You drive around, start noticing it.
I know, right? It's like, because that it's like when you drive around in a Chevy Silverado and you're like, oh, there's one. Oh, there's one. But then they like, there's probably, but same thing with the Jeep and same thing. It's like, I guess if you're looking for the German influence, you're going to see it more, right?
Yeah, of course. Like with all things, you start looking for it, you start seeing it more, eh?
But I'm seeing the German influence today too, and I'll commend you guys. And again, I raised my 19, I think, 83 Miller High Life Christmas Stein to you guys for not only for Christmas and for Germany, but to yourselves and your families as well. And thanks for joining us today, guys. I really appreciate it.
Cheers.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a frohe Weihnachten.
Frohe
What
Weihnachten.
the hell does that mean?
Und schönes Neujahr.
Yeah,
Exactly.
noise, noise.
Exactly.
Shouldn't noise.
All
It's too
right, guys.
loud.
I don't want to do this and would do it again because I can't see the bottom. What does my cup say or my stein say on the bottom?
Keep going. Hold on. A little bit more. Yeah, Miller High
Uh,
Life.
You dick, you could see that anyway. It's gotta say, it's gotta
Yeah,
say,
we're
I
over
can't read
I
it.
mean, there's only
It
so
probably
many
says happy.
pixels.
I think it was like the year by year Stein you're supposed to get, and I'm like, one's enough. One's enough.
1893.
Hey,
Proto.
this started before Shiner.
Yeah, we all learned something today.
Miller did?
No, probably not.
You dicks. I don't even now I'm getting to the point like I don't even know why I asked you guys to come up.
I love it.
But hey, guys, thanks for joining in today, and thanks for everybody for sticking with us for this long. And we should give it, because this is going to be released. The real, it's going to be playing during Christmas. So a Merry Christmas to everybody, and Mitch is looking forward to seeing y'all next year too. So, gentlemen, thank you kindly, and we'll see you next time.
Merry Christmas. Talk to you soon.